Hey guys, it's your friend John here, and today is going to be a very interesting video. Now, you probably saw my Halloween video that I made, how I made an axe, and I used a regular axe head, but I bet you didn't know this. I wasn't going to use a regular axe head. I was going to use this right here, and this is a hatchet head, or a small hatchet, that I got from eBay. And I was going to use this, but I ran into a couple of problems, and the main problem was I tried drilling a third hole in it because there's only 2 holes, and to make sure that this thing would properly be secured in a wood handle, I wanted to have 3 holes for 3 wooden pegs so it wouldn't break off, but I couldn't drill the third hole in, which doesn't look very good, and it's not going to be very secure if I used it, so I decided to scrap it. So I just used a regular axe head that I just got from the garage, and I used that instead of using this. So today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this right here, cleaning it up, and giving it a handle. I'm going to be giving it this handle. This is just a small leftover piece of wood, and you can see it matches perfectly. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be giving this as a handle. Now, I already removed the grip cording on the handle, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take it to the sink and wet sand it and remove all this black paint, giving it an unpainted silver look. Now that I finished removing all the black paint by wet sanding it, and now that I polished it, giving a much nicer and cleaner look, what I'm going to do next is now, I'm going to start working on the handle. So I got my wood handle cut down and sanded down, and it's almost ready to be put onto the hatchet. You notice I grinded down some points, and the problem was these points were sticking out on the hatchet, which would have took away from the look and made it more uncomfortable. But now that it's been grinded down, everything lines up perfectly. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to start attaching the handle onto the hatchet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wood peg right here, and I'm going to cut it down so it's smaller and the appropriate size, and then I'm going to use those wood pegs to anchor everything all together. Now to fix that large open gap that's in the end, just put some glue in there, and once the glue is all in there, take some wood pegs or wooden toothpicks and wedge them in that open area, and then just clamp it shut and let it dry for a full 24 hours. Now that I got taped up and clamped down, just take a wet rag and wipe down any glue that might be squeezing out. I have finished sanding down my wooden handle, giving it the correct shape I want it to be. You can see that it's flat on both sides, and what that's going to do is, as I'm holding it, it won't twist and turn in my hand, giving me a more firm and stable grip. I also added this little wood piece right on the bottom, and that's so it won't fall out of my hand as it's being used. It has something to stop it from falling out. And I also made sure that I made it smooth and sanded down all imperfections, making this handle more comfortable to hold on. And any open spaces or gaps that was in this wood handle, I filled it up with wood filler, and I took that wood filler and I sanded it down so everything lines up and looks like it's just one solid piece. You can also see I added in metal pegs instead of wood pegs, and I realized this is a hatchet and it's going to be used for chopping, and wood pegs aren't going to be very strong, so I replaced it with metal pegs. I drilled out the old ones and I hammered in nails. I took 2 nails that I cut down and I put those nails into each hole where the wood pegs were, giving it a more solid and stable feel, so as it's being used, the handle won't break off the actual metal hatchet. Now that I have the hatchet handle the correct shape I want it to be, I'm going to go and finish it up. Now that I have it all set up, I'm going to take it outside and spray paint this handle. Now that my hatchet or tomahawk, whatever which one you want to call it, is finally complete, I'm going to take it outside and give it a strength test and see how strong this handle really is. But before I do, please be sure to subscribe if you're a new viewer or you haven't subscribed before, hit notifications so you can be aware every time I upload a new video, like the video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are of what I made, and if you want to help me get more viewers and possibly more subscribers, please share this video. Thank you. Alright, I'm now outside with my finished hatchet or tomahawk, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a strength test on this. This is a frozen potato. And what I'm going to do is I want to see what type of chopping damage this can do to this. Alright, up next, I have a water jug filled with water and surrounded by 3 layers of cardboard. And what I want to do is I want to see what type of penetrating damage and chopping damage this can do to this. Finally, I have a block of wood right here, and I want to see what type of chopping damage this can do to this. So, now that the testing is over, what are my overall thoughts on this hatchet or tomahawk handle? I have to say, it held up pretty well, and there's no damage on it whatsoever. It's still secured in there. It's not loose or moving, so it's still really secured on this handle. And I'm happy I drilled out the old wooden pegs and replaced them with these metal nail pegs, because if I used wood, you never know, it could have just broke off over time. You can use wood pegs for something like a knife, but something that's like a hatchet or an axe or a tomahawk that's chopping, you're definitely going to want metal pegs. And this grip that I have, it works quite well. It's nice and comfortable in my hand, and it feels really firm in my hand. It doesn't feel like it's going to twist or turn as I'm using it, making me feel really secured as I'm holding it, and it's not going to come out of my hand. It, again, feels really secure, so overall, this is a good handle. And when being tested, this thing did a lot of chopping damage to the frozen potato. The frozen potato got sliced up quite easily, and I was also able to use this other end right here, same thing. So it works quite well against the frozen potato. Same for the water jug surrounded by cardboard. It was able to just penetrate very easily, and I was able to get my hand in there. That's just how easily this thing was able to chop right in there. And the block of wood, it was able to chop it up quite well, but you're definitely not going to chop down any full-grown trees with this thing. You can definitely chop down smaller trees or branches, but anything that's really large or really thick, you're just not going to get that type of chopping damage. It did do a fair amount of damage to that block of wood, but nothing serious. It was all small damage. So I'm going to wrap things up by saying thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video and watching me make this handle for this. Also, please remember to follow me on Instagram, and also follow me on Reddit. Join my community on Reddit, but please don't follow me in real life. That would just be a little creepy.